To start with the kind of basic things like, what's your name?
Yeah, well, it's David Burbidge.
And what's your age?
I'm 53.
Still quite young.
Yeah.
And you're from?
I come from Mansfield in Nottinghamshire.
But you've lived in the East End since?
About 1976, 75, 76.
Do you like living in the East End?
Yes. It has a freedom, or it did have a freedom, where people escaped to escape the oppressions of small country life.
So what kind of oppressions did you encounter?
Well, in the 70s, I was in my 20s, there was all sorts of discrimination and oppression going on, still is in small country towns and villages where people know everybody else's business, and you are basically discriminated against in work and in friendships. There's no gay structure or support. It's just basically casual sexual contacts in parks and public places.
And what was the change when you came over here?
The change was I found a community where there was a lot of people like me, so there was plenty of opportunity to socialise, to mix, to there's lots of bars and clubs and groups and so forth. So it was quite liberating, really.
So what kind of activities did you love doing then, which were liberating?
Liberating? Well, going socialising, going to bars, meeting people of my own culture and orientation. Just being, meeting new contacts.
And at work, how was it?
At work, it was a lot different because I was still in the closet, so I couldn't come out because I worked in the voluntary sector. Although it was a sort of a liberal sector, it still wasn't as free as people think it was. Certainly, it was a long way in front of the commercial and business sectors and companies. But you still had to be very careful about what you said and what you did. Otherwise, you'd be very soon found out, so to speak, and ostracised.
What area of work were you involved in?
I was the Director of Employment for a large charity in Dalston. We dealt with psychodynamic social work counselling for people who were having bringing up children or difficulties with marital relations.
So did you go to university to study?
No.
No. I noticed I'm Gladstone.
Gladstone, yes. Yeah, it's quite a favourite politician of mine, but I like Victorian books, non-fiction. I particularly like reading the history of religion. I'm not religious in any way, shape or form, but the recording of religious history gives a recording of history and life and culture, because that's where things sprang from in the beginning. So yes, I do collect old Victorian non-fiction books on history, psychology, philosophy.
You said just now. You said that it used to be liberating here. How has it changed?
How's it changed? There's as people get older, obviously people come into form friendships and groups of people in different groups and areas of interest. My interest was S&M at the time, so I sort of formed into a group of people who were interested in that sort of thing. Unfortunately, AIDS came along, and a lot of people in my sector disappeared virtually overnight. so my groups of friends have very much diminished over the years. It isn't as bad now because I think we're over the AIDS epidemic as such, and most of my friends, 4, maybe 5, all died in rapid succession. But that was about 10 years ago, so it's easier now, of course.
So do you find the S&M culture reviving in any way?
Well, I don't know, because as you get past a certain age with being gay, you are then excluded from the gay community, because it's very ageist. You're not going to be welcome in younger people's pubs and clubs and groups and so forth. And unless you're in the specific sort of areas like daddies and things like that, you're certainly not welcome on the commercial gay scene. There isn't a sort of a non-commercial gay scene as such in Tower Hamlets. I mean, it has a large Muslim population. The council do not fund more or less anything to do with homosexuality whatsoever. So there's very little opportunity.
But you joined a little group.
Yes, run by Age Concern.
So tell me about this little group.
Well, it's just a group, a non-funded group that meets once a month for socialisation. There's only about 20 or 30 people belonging to the group, and perhaps maybe only 4 or 5 people turn up a session. But it's not funded by anyone. It's just organised by Age Concern as a sort of an additional community resource. But it's just there for people who are isolated, who need to go out and sort of socialise in some way or form to meet other people of their like.
Are you working at present?
No, I'm retired. I had 2 heart attacks, and now I suffer from arthritis. So being disabled and being gay is not easy, because you can't get out and socialise.
So have you ever considered sort of bringing your group in here?
No, I haven't got a group to bring in, so to speak.
But that group of age.
Yes, but it's not. It's only an acquaintanceship group. It's not a friendship group at all.
So are there any other groups that you're part of?
Not that I'm aware of at all.
So do you use the internet? Is that?
Yes, I use the internet. I go on the various LGBT sites and so forth. But again, it's all age orientated.
Does Age Concern help a little bit more in terms of perhaps internet networking?
No.
So what does Age Concern help you in?
Oh, they just provide the building and the sort of administration to get the group together. That's all. There's nothing. Their input is quite minimal in that sense. They don't actually actively engage in encouraging sort of what happens. It just what happens generates from the members of the group.
So do you feel quite isolated?
Oh yes, definitely. Yes. And as you get older, it gets more and more isolated, because your friends disappear through whatever. They either move away or they die or whatever. So at the moment, I would say I have a handful of maybe 4 friends that I see sometimes once, maybe twice a month. Others I may see 3 or 4 times a week. But very, very... the social contact is very limiting.
So do you find it very difficult?
Very difficult.
Now, Mangala, for example, he's a Buddhist, and he finds a lot of solace in Buddhism. Some people say it's not religion, it's more of philosophy rather
Yes, it's more of a lifestyle.
than yes. So would you ever consider doing something like that?
No, because I've considered most philosophies from a historical and a psychological base, and most of it boils down to self-confidence, self-esteem, being relaxed. A lot of self-hypnosis chucked in. I don't need a philosophy as such to be able to be happy with myself. I'm quite happy with my own company. Buddhism to me is just one of the other, or just one of the tracks that people will use to find a way to be happy with themselves. That's all. It's just one track. There's others. There's neuro-linguistic programming, and I mean, you could go to Quakerism. You could go to any of the religious setups, or the non-religious, the humanist societies, and so forth, theological societies. But if you just put them all into one and look at it from a historical point of view, it's just a striving of the human psyche to be happy. That's all. And if you can, it's just ways of getting there.
So you talked about ageism in the gay community. How do you find the club and bar scene different now?
Well, I can't really comment on that because I haven't been onto the bar scene for about 7 years, and I stopped going to clubs about 10 years ago. So there certainly isn't as many clubs or bars in and around the East End as there was. A lot of places have closed. Places like the London Apprentice has gone. The Bull and Pump, which was on Shoreditch High Street, that was a popular drag bar. So there's only now one or two places that you could say that were gay bars, really. And also this move to metrosexualism, where there is no longer gay bars necessary or straight bars, it's all intermixed and so forth. And so there's no longer a need for gay bars.
Great. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us?
No, not really.